I had the ring in my jacket pocket for hours before I finally worked up the nerve. It was a Friday night in early fall. Cool air, yellow streetlights, just quiet enough outside her apartment to feel like something mattered. Leah opened the door in her scrubs, hair pulled back, tired as hell but still beautiful to me. I was sweating through my shirt. "My shift was brutal," she said, kicking her shoes off and flopping on the couch. "One kid projectile vomited on my badge. It still smells like Pedialyte." I laughed because that's what we did. Even on bad days, we laughed. But my heart was pounding, and my fingers were twitching toward my jacket pocket. She leaned her head back. "Can you grab me a LaCroix? My feet are screaming." I walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, grabbed the can and the ring. I stood there for a second, staring at it. It wasn't flashy. No halo setting or whatever crap they advertise on Instagram. Just a simple gold band with a modest diamond. I picked it because it reminded me of her, real, not showy, steady. Took me almost 5 months to save up for it. Quick note: before we get deeper into this, share which city or country you're watching from. I walked back into the living room, handed her the can, and dropped to one knee before I chickened out. Her eyes went wide. "Wait. What are you doing?" "I love you," I said. My voice cracked a little. "And I don't want to wait around anymore, hoping life makes sense. I want you. I want us. Will you marry me?" She froze, blinked twice, then covered her mouth. Her eyes teared up fast. Not a dramatic sob, just quiet shock. "You serious?" she whispered. "As a heart attack." She set the can down without looking, reached for me, and nodded fast like she couldn't say it out loud. I slid the ring on her finger, and she pulled me into a hug so hard I almost tipped over. I smelled sanitizer and vanilla lotion on her skin, heard her heart pounding right against my ear. She kept whispering yes over and over, like she was convincing herself it was real. We stayed like that for a while, her sitting on the couch, me kneeling on the rug, both holding on like the world couldn't touch us. I looked at her and thought, this is it. I just won at life. Then she said, "My parents are gonna freak. I can't wait for them to meet you." And just like that, the next chapter started. She texted her mom that night. By morning, we had dinner plans. "They're dying to meet you," Leah said while brushing her hair in the mirror. Especially now. That now carried weight. It made everything real in a different way. Her parents lived out in a tiny town called Arcadia, just over 2 hours from us. Flat land, winding back roads, pickup trucks in every driveway. We left early Saturday afternoon. I drove, sweating through the steering wheel most of the way. Leah was calm, legs crossed, sipping coffee like we were heading to a movie. I, on the other hand, spent the whole ride imagining her dad grilling me about my credit score or pulling out a shotgun for laughs. "What are they like?" I asked halfway through the drive. She smiled. "Traditional. Loyal. My dad's a goofball, my mom's the backbone, and my sister, she's her own thing." I nodded, pretending that made me feel better. Didn't. The moment we pulled into the driveway, I knew I was out of my comfort zone. The house was this 2-story colonial with a porch swing and a wind chime that wouldn't shut up. Garden gnomes. Fake pumpkins. And it wasn't even close to Halloween. Inside smelled like pot roast and cinnamon. Leah's mom was already at the door with open arms and a voice full of sunshine. "You must be the guy," she said, pulling me into a hug before I could react. "I'm Cheryl. You're taller than I expected." "Nice to meet you, ma'am," I said, trying not to sound like a complete idiot. Her dad came in behind her, wearing a plaid shirt and a goofy grin. "So this is the mechanic who stole our nurse?" "Sir, yeah," I said, shaking his hand. Firm grip. I matched it. He winked. "Relax. I'm not one of those shotgun dads. Not unless you cheat." Leah elbowed him. "Dad, quick question before we keep going. Where are you listening from today?" Her younger sister popped her head around the hallway corner, earbuds still in. "Hey, I'm Kayla," she said flat, then walked off like I wasn't worth more than a glance. Leah rolled her eyes. "She's always like that. Don't take it personal." I laughed awkwardly, still standing there like a damn lost dog until Cheryl waved me toward the kitchen. The table was already set, cloth napkins, matching plates, candles. Leah shot me a look like I told you they go all out. We sat down after some quick small talk, and just like that, I was thrown into the deep end. Her dad asked about the shop I worked at, what kind of cars I liked, how I got into the trade. Started when I was 16, I said. Busted my first engine and couldn't stop after that. Better than busting bones, he joked. I tried fixing the lawnmower once, ended up in urgent care. Leah's mom laughed while pouring gravy. He nearly sliced his thumb off with a socket wrench. It was a butter knife, but he insists. Dinner was legit: roast beef, mashed potatoes, green beans that tasted like they were picked that morning. Cheryl could cook like she was training for the county fair. Kayla showed up late with wet hair and sat down without saying much. But she watched me, quiet, sharp eyes, like she was scanning for weak spots. After a while, things loosened up. Her dad refilled my glass. Cheryl brought out some old family photos to show Leah as a baby, and Kayla finally cracked a smile at one of her dad's dumb jokes. Leah slid her hand under the table and grabbed mine. "You're doing great," she whispered. I felt it in my chest. That warmth, that weird peace that shows up when life doesn't feel like it's about to crash. That night, as we said our goodbyes and her mom hugged me a second time, I felt something settle in. I wasn't just her boyfriend anymore. I was the guy her family trusted to marry her. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I belonged somewhere outside of my own bloodline. Cheryl poured coffee like we were in a damn diner and passed around more gravy like it was liquid gold. The whole table was buzzing. Clinking forks, overlapping voices, her dad telling stories nobody asked for, and Leah laughing at everyone like it was new. "I ever tell you about the time I got locked inside a porta-potty at the county fair?" her dad asked, waving a fork in the air. Leah groaned. "Yes, Dad. Every Thanksgiving." "But has he heard it?" he said, nodding at me. I smirked. "I feel like I need to." "All right," he said, sitting up straight. "Picture this. 1997. August. Hot as hell. I had 2 corn dogs and a warm beer." Leah cut him off. "Don't forget the chili fries. That's what started the problem." He pointed at her. "Exactly. So I'm in the porta-potty, trying not to die, and some kid thinks it's funny to tip it over." Loud groans and laughter broke out. Kayla laughed too, which I didn't expect. "While you're listening, tell us which country you're watching from." Felt like a real family dinner. Comfortable, messy, loud in the best way. Nobody was pretending. Not even me. Her mom leaned toward me at one point. "So what about your family, hon? Do you see them often?" "Yeah," I said. "My folks still live out near Pittsburgh. I visit when I can. My brother lives closer though. He helps run the shop with me." "That's nice," she said. "And you and Leah? How'd it all start?" Leah took over before I could answer. "We met through Jordan. Remember him from nursing school?" "Oh, the tall one with the truck," Cheryl said. Leah nodded. "He brought me to the shop when my car started smoking. This guy fixed it and flirted with me for 2 hours." I laughed. She flirted back. "Don't let her rewrite history." Her dad raised an eyebrow. "So you fell for him over a busted radiator?" Leah shrugged. "And free labor." We all cracked up. It was easy, weirdly easy. The kind of night where nothing feels forced. After the plates were mostly cleared, her dad leaned back and let out a satisfied groan. "All right, let's talk marriage." Leah gave him a warning look. "Dad." "No, no," he said, waving her off. "Just saying. You two seem solid. I mean, you're not kids. You got jobs, your head's on straight. You thinking about buying a place?" "Eventually," I said, trying not to sound unsure. "We've talked about it. Gotta save up first." "Smart," he said. "Mortgage rates are crap right now anyway. My advice? Fix up a place. Build sweat equity." Cheryl smacked his arm. "Not everyone wants to swing a hammer in the snow, Dave." He grinned. "That's how you toughen up." Across the table, Leah caught my eye and smiled, like she was proud of me just for holding my own. It hit me in that second. This felt real. We were doing it. Building something. Laying down the bricks of a life one stupid joke and mashed potato scoop at a time. Cheryl stood up and clapped her hands. All right, Leah, help me with dessert. We've got pecan pie and something called Kayla's sad little brownie experiment. Kayla rolled her eyes but smiled. You still ate half the tray. Leah squeezed my hand under the table and stood up. Don't go anywhere. You're stuck with Dad and Kayla for 5 minutes. Noted, I said, leaning back as she walked off. Her dad grabbed the wine bottle. You drink red. Only if it's cheap, I said. You're in luck, he said, pouring us both a glass. Kayla finally looked at me like I wasn't an alien. So, what's the worst car you've ever worked on? I smirked. Oh, you don't want that story with pie in the oven. She grinned. Try me. And just like that, I felt like I wasn't just visiting. I was already in the picture. Kayla was mid-sentence, asking about busted alternators or something, when the wine caught up with me. Give me one SEC, I said, pushing back my chair. Where's the bathroom again? Her dad pointed past the kitchen. First door on the left, next to the pantry. I nodded, tried not to stumble, and headed that way. The hallway was quiet, carpet soft under my boots. I passed the kitchen and slowed down when I heard voices. Soft, clipped. Leah and her mom. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, I really didn't. But then I heard my name. So, what about that other guy you brought here last month? Cheryl said, her voice sharp and low like she didn't want it carrying. Leah sighed. Mom, don't. No, I'm asking. Because now you're engaged to this one, and I haven't heard you mention the other since. Leah lowered her voice. I couldn't see her, but I pictured her standing at the counter, arms crossed like she always did when she felt cornered. I'm just waiting. I mean, he still hasn't made a move. There was a pause. Dishes clinked. You're engaged, Leah, Cheryl snapped. You said yes. I know, but it's not like I'm married, Leah said, way too calm for what she was saying. If Jeremy ever actually steps up, then we'll see. I stopped breathing. Her mom whispered harshly, You're stringing him along? He's in your life now. Your dad likes him. Kayla actually smiled at him. That doesn't happen. He's stable, Leah said like she was describing a used fridge. He's good enough. And honestly, it's nice not having drama for once. My ears rang. My mouth went dry. My own fiancé, was standing 20 feet away saying I was good enough. Until something better came along. Her mom didn't say anything for a few seconds. Then, so you're really just waiting for the other guy to pull the trigger? Yeah, Leah said. I can't wait forever. But, I don't know. I'm just keeping things open. That's all. She said it so casually. Like I was some placeholder. Like this whole night, the dinner, the laughs, the stories about porta potties, was just part of some long con. I backed away before I even realized I was moving. My foot brushed the baseboard and I flinched. I waited, nothing. No one heard. I kept going, one step at a time, past the hallway table with the framed wedding photo, back toward the dining room. I walked in like I'd just taken a leak and washed my hands. Sat back down. Nodded at Kayla's dumb joke. Took another sip of wine. Leah walked back in with the pie like nothing was wrong. She smiled, placed a plate in front of me, leaned down and whispered, I saved you the corner piece. I know you like the crust. I smiled back. I looked her dead in the eye and smiled like I didn't just hear her sell me out in her mother's kitchen. Cheryl came in behind her, face tight. She didn't look at me. Her dad cracked another joke about pie crust and taxes. Kayla passed me a fork. I forced down 2 bites before I couldn't take it anymore. My stomach was knotted so tight it felt like someone punched me from the inside. I checked my phone like I got a message. Fake scrolled. Set the fork down. You all right? Leah asked. Yeah. I lied. Just work stuff. She nodded and turned back to the table. I sat there 5 more minutes, nodding along, laughing at the right spots, waiting for a clean moment. Then I pushed back my chair and stood up. I should probably head out, I said. Early morning tomorrow. Her dad frowned. Already? Yeah, I said. Long drive. Thanks for dinner. It was incredible. Leah came in for a hug. I gave her a quick one, said goodbye to everyone, and walked straight out the front door before I lost it. I didn't slam the door. I didn't stomp. I just walked, calm, controlled. The second I got in my car, I gripped the wheel and stared straight ahead. And I thought, good enough. Huh? I didn't even turn the key. I just sat there, letting the silence swallow me whole. I sat there with both hands on the wheel, still as a damn statue. Her porch light cast a weird yellow glow across the driveway, and inside the house they were still laughing like nothing had just shattered. I wanted to punch the steering wheel, wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just sat there, jaw locked, trying to keep my breathing steady. Good enough. Stable. Just stringing him along. The words echoed in my head like they were being shouted through a tunnel. I stared straight ahead, engine off, no music, no nothing. I didn't move for 10, maybe 15 minutes. Then I blinked hard, shifted into reverse, and pulled out of that driveway as slow and quiet as I could. I didn't want the tires to make a sound. No slamming doors. No drama. She'd never even know what I heard. The farther I got from that house, the heavier it hit. Every mile I put between me and that damn kitchen felt like pulling a nail out of my chest one by one. 30 minutes in, the first call came. Leah. I watched her name flash across the screen and let it ring. A minute later, another one. Then a text. Did you get home okay? Then, is everything all right? Call me. I tossed the phone in the passenger seat and stared at the dark road ahead. Headlights eating up the yellow lines. I wasn't all right. Not even close. The more I thought about it, the more the heat rose up in my chest. Every laugh at the table. Every squeeze of my hand under the napkins. Every sweet little look she threw across the wine glasses. Fake. All of it. Just a part of her act. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles cracked. I wasn't the guy she wanted. I was just the one who showed up first. The safe bet. The warm body to keep her company while she waited on someone else. I hit a red light, leaned my head back, and closed my eyes. My throat burned like I'd swallowed gasoline. What the hell was I even doing in her life? The phone buzzed again. I didn't look. I didn't answer. I didn't owe her anything. Not a word. Not a text. Not a damn explanation. She wanted stable? She got it. She wanted good enough? That's on her. But I wasn't going to be the fool sitting at some stranger's dining room table, smiling through a lie while she kept her real future waiting in the wings. The light turned green. I hit the gas. 15 minutes later, I pulled into a random gas station, shut off the engine, and just sat there in the dark. My hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage, heartbreak, whatever you want to call it when everything you thought was solid suddenly crumbles in your lap. Another call came in. I let it ring out. I opened the glove box, pulled out the receipt from the jeweler. It had been sitting there since the day I bought the ring. Crumpled. Faded. My name was still on it in thick black print. I shoved it back in and slammed the glove box shut. That's all I did that night. No breakdown. No calls to friends. No revenge plan. I just sat there, phone buzzing beside me, letting it ring into nothing. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't go home either. Just parked outside the shop, reclined my seat, and stared at the ceiling of my car like it held some kind of answer. Her calls came every couple hours. Morning, afternoon, evening. By day 2, the texts got longer. I'm freaking out, please talk to me. Did something happen? What did I do? She knew. She had to know. There's a tone people get when they've been caught but don't know what exactly gave it away. That was all over her messages. Fake confusion. Real panic. I didn't respond. Not once. By day 3, she was leaving voicemails. I didn't even listen. Just watched the red dot light up and fade again. My brother, Ryan, cornered me in the shop break room after I snapped at the coffee machine for the second time that morning. "All right, man, what's going on with you?" he said, shutting the fridge harder than necessary. "You look like you haven't slept in a week." I grabbed my thermos. "I'm fine. Bull. You've been grinding your teeth so loud I can hear it over the impact wrench. Talk to me." "It's just work stuff," I muttered, brushing past him. He didn't buy it, but he let it go. Back at my workbench, I pulled the ring receipt out of my wallet. Still folded crisp, still stained with grease on one corner. I smoothed it flat on the table and stared at the numbers. $2,174. 5 months of saving. Skipping lunches. Picking up weekend shifts. For what? I opened the drawer, tossed it in, and slammed it shut. But the thing that stuck wasn't the money. It wasn't even the lie. It was her voice, the tone. Like I wasn't real. Like I was some safety net she kept around just in case. It looped in my head every time I tried to focus. He's stable. I'm just keeping things open. He's good enough. It was like she put a bullet through every memory we had and just walked away without flinching. By Thursday night, I was at the shop alone. Ryan had gone home. The garage lights buzzed overhead, tools lined up perfect, everything clean and organized. Except me. My hands were shaking again. Couldn't even hold the socket wrench steady. I pulled out my phone. 42 missed calls. 15 voicemails. Dozens of texts. I didn't open any of them. I just sat there on the floor of the shop, knees up, back against the lift, phone in one hand, ring box in the other. I thought about chucking it across the room. Thought about torching it. But what I needed wasn't revenge. Wasn't payback. I needed to hear her say it. Out loud. No games, no excuses. I needed closure. Not for her, for me. I stood up, walked outside, and sat on the back steps where the mechanics took their smoke breaks. Opened the ring box. The diamond caught the security light just right. I looked at it like it was a joke. Like I was the punchline. Then I opened my phone and scrolled to her name. She was still typing. Still trying to get a response out of me. I stared at the screen until her typing stopped. Then I hit call. It rang once. Hello. She answered fast, voice tight, breathless. Oh my God. Thank you. Are you okay? Where have you been? I've been losing my... I heard you, Leah. Silence. I heard you in the kitchen, talking to your mom. About the other guy. She didn't say anything for a second. Just this pause where I could hear her breath catch. Then stutter. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You said I was just something stable. That you were stringing me along. Waiting to see if some guy named Jeremy finally wanted you. That's not... She started, then stopped. That's not what I meant. I didn't respond. Let her sit in it. That wasn't serious, she said quickly. It was just girl talk. You know, venting. I was stressed. You met my whole family. It's overwhelming. You weren't venting, I said flat. You were confessing. No, it was... Her voice cracked. I was scared, okay? Panicked. Things are moving fast and I got in my head. That's all it was. You said I was good enough. You know how that sounds. It wasn't like that. I cut her off. Then explain it. She didn't. I waited. Nothing. Just a sniff. Then some shifting on her end like she was pacing or wiping her face. I didn't mean to hurt you, she finally said, voice lower now. I didn't think you'd actually hear that. Right? I said. You didn't think I'd find out. That's not fair. No, Leah, what's not fair is me planning a life with someone who's got one foot out the door. That's what's not fair. I stood up, paced a few steps behind the garage. My blood was boiling again, but I didn't yell. I wasn't gonna give her that. I was all in, I said. You weren't. I just needed time, she said. I didn't know what I wanted. You wanted him. You were just settling for me in case he didn't want you back. Her voice cracked again. That's not true. Don't lie to me. Not now. She started crying. Hard. Not the pretty kind either. It was messy and sharp, like she couldn't breathe through it. I'll fix it, she said between sobs. Please, just talk to me. Don't shut me out. I made a mistake. I'll do anything. Just, please, don't give up on us. There is no us, Leah. I meant it. Every word. My chest felt like a hollow drum, but I meant it. The engagement's off, I said. I don't want anything from you. Not an apology. Not a reason. Not even the ring back. She gasped like I slapped her. No, wait, please. Don't do this. We can talk. We can fix it. Just give me a chance. I took a breath, jaw clenched. Then I hung up. No goodbye. No dramatic last words. I hit the red button and let the silence close in. My thumb hovered over her name for a second. Then I locked my phone and stuck it in my back pocket. That was it. That was the call I thought I'd never make. And it was over in less than 10 minutes. But it cut deeper than any fight we ever had. I walked back inside the garage, flipped off the lights, and closed up for the night. Not a word. Not a glance back. She had her answer. The next morning, I texted my buddy James. Need a favor. Can you come with me to Leah's? I just need to grab my stuff. He called me right away. You sure she's not gonna be there? Yeah. She works Sundays. 12-hour shift. I'm there in 10. We rolled up to her apartment around 11. James stayed quiet, just followed me up the steps. I knocked once. The door opened fast, like someone had been standing right behind it. It was her roommate, Mel. Big eyes, oversized hoodie, and that look people get when they know something they shouldn't. Oh, she said, stepping back. Hey, I nodded. Just here to grab my stuff. She didn't argue, didn't say a damn word, just stepped aside and let me walk in. The place smelled like citrus cleaner and leftover Chinese food. Nothing looked different, but everything felt off. Like the walls knew what happened. My toolbox was still by the coat closet. Shirts folded in the cubby near her bed. My old PS4 and a tangle of cords sat next to the TV. It only took a few minutes to pack it all. James stayed quiet, holding the door and helping me load. Mel hovered by the hallway, watching but not watching. Like she didn't know if she should say something. I didn't give her the chance. I went back inside one last time. That damn ring box was still on the nightstand. I picked it up, turned it over in my hand. Still closed. Still cold. Still pointless. I walked over to the kitchen table and set it down right in the center. No note. No message. Nothing dramatic. She'd know what it meant. I looked around one last time. Then I left. Quick note before we go on. Where are you watching from today? James didn't ask anything until we were in the car. You good? I nodded. Getting there. He didn't push it. Just cranked the music and drove. That afternoon, I sat in the back of the shop with my phone and dialed the jeweler. Hi, yeah, I said. I bought a ring from you guys about 6 months ago. I need to start the return process. The woman on the line was polite, asked a few questions, pulled up my info. Has it been worn or altered? Nope, I said. Didn't even make it a week. She paused. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, me too. She explained the process: shipping label, inspection, refund minus restocking. I didn't care. I just wanted it gone. After I hung up, I opened my messages. Leah had texted me 3 more times since last night. Please, just talk to me. Can we meet in person? I'm not okay. I stared at the screen for a long time. My thumb hovered, then dropped to type. Please don't contact me again. I hit send. Blocked her number right after. Then I turned my phone off and went back to work. No music. No distractions. Just me, a busted carburetor, and the sound of my wrench grinding back into place. Ryan cornered me again in the break room a couple days later. I was elbow deep in coffee grounds trying to unclog the damn machine. All right, spill it, he said. You ghosted your own fiancée, cleaned out her apartment, and now you're working like a machine on no sleep. I didn't answer. He crossed his arms. Dude, you think I don't notice? You don't even play music in the garage anymore. You used to blast Creed like it was your job. I finally looked up. It's over. He blinked. Over. Me and Leah. Engagement's off. Ryan's face dropped like I'd sucker punched him. Wait, what? What the hell happened? I shook my head. Doesn't matter. She wasn't who I thought she was. You serious right now? He said. Mom's got your save the date on the fridge. She cried when you proposed. What am I supposed to tell her? Tell her the truth, I said. It fell apart. I walked out before he could ask anything else. That night, I called my parents. My mom answered. First thing she said was, "You okay?" I told her it was done, and she went quiet. Not shocked, just quiet, like she could hear something breaking over the line. "What happened?" she finally whispered. "She wasn't with me for the right reasons." That's all I said. She didn't ask more. She just said, "I love you," and I hung up. The next day, I stopped into the clinic near the shop. They had this counseling program, Walk-ins Welcome. I figured maybe talking to someone would keep my head from caving in. The woman's name was Denise, early 50s, sharp eyes, no fake warmth. "Why are you here?" she asked right off the bat. I hesitated. "I just need help letting go of something I thought was real." We met once a week. Same office, same 2 chairs. No clipboard crap. She just listened, asked sharp questions. I told her everything. About the kitchen conversation. About the ring. About Leah's voice when she said I was good enough. Denise didn't flinch. After a while, I said, "I feel like an idiot. I should have seen it coming." She shook her head. "You weren't blind. You were hopeful. There's a difference." That hit me harder than anything else. Over the next few weeks, I started piecing things together. All the times Leah changed the subject when I mentioned a house. All the times she said, "Let's not rush," or "Let's just see how it goes." I used to take that as caution, patience, but it was distance, detachment, like she never really saw the future the same way I did. Denise helped me see it for what it was. "You weren't crazy," she said during our third session. "You were showing up." She wasn't. Simple, clean, ugly truth. I kept going to work, kept my head down. Bit by bit, the ache dulled. The phone stayed quiet. No more texts, no drama. And for once, I wasn't chasing answers. I was just breathing again. The future I thought we had? That version of it died in her mother's kitchen. But mine wasn't over. It was just mine again. One afternoon after work, I was driving down the same street I'd taken a dozen times before. Busy, loud, nothing special. Then I saw it, the jeweler. I glanced over without even thinking. The sign was still there, same gold lettering, same fake flowers in the window. But this time I didn't feel a damn thing. No bitterness, no sting. Just a building with overpriced rings and bad lighting. It's been a few months now. It still stings sometimes. Certain songs, certain smells. That one drawer in my apartment where her old mug sat for too long. But I'm not wrecked anymore. I don't wake up feeling hollow. Eat, I sleep, I work, I laugh. I'm careful now, quieter about who I let in. Slower to hand someone the keys to my world. Not bitter, just aware. I know what love isn't. Love isn't someone calling you good enough when you're all in. Love isn't a waiting room while they chase someone else. Some buddies at the shop have been trying to play matchmaker lately. "You need a rebound," James said, tossing me a beer last Friday. "Nah," I told him. "Maybe later. Not because I'm scared, but because I'm not wasting time pretending. I've already done the pretending. And truth is, I'm proud of how I handled it. I didn't blow up her life. I didn't out her to her family. I didn't show up screaming or start rumors. I walked away, cold and clean, because that's what you do when someone shows you exactly where you stand. That night in her mom's kitchen, it broke something in me, but it also set me free. Free from planning a life around a person who wasn't really planning anything at all. Free from guessing what she felt, where I stood, who she wanted. She told me the truth by accident, and that accident saved me. I didn't lose the woman I was meant to marry. I dodged a lifetime of being someone's backup plan. And now I've got a clean slate. Not perfect, not healed, but mine. Do you think I should have told her family the truth? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you like this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more.